Welcome to the check-in. Well, normally I'm interviewing people over Zoom, but I've been allowed out and I've come to Epsom to interview Chris Hughes about National Racehorse Week, which takes place in September. And today he's going to give us a tour of Simon Dow's yard, tell us a little bit about the care behind racehorses, and hopefully we're going to have a little chat to him at the end to find out a little bit more about this initiative. Hi Chris Hughes, nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
So we're having a fantastic day here. We're here to all about National Racehorse Week, which is coming up in September. Yeah. But first of all, a little bit about you, a little bit of background, because surprisingly enough, few people watching this might not have watched Love Island.
Yeah, true.
They might not watch racing. So let's find out a little bit about you. Obviously, Love Island contestant, used to walking around in your pants, now full top and tail, top hat ascot. How did you make it from that to ITV Racing?
I think the transition came when, I think with the ITV Racing team, obviously realised that from an early age I actually was into horse racing. Yeah. So it kind of is a great way to captivate. You got to think our ITV Racing audience, the demographic, because it's on terrestrial television, it's not like racing TV, it's not like Sky Racing. So the percentage of people watching it probably aren't horse racing fans. So it's just a great way to kind of combine that crossover of people watching. And I mean, I'm like to think I'm relatable to those people who aren't necessarily horse racing fans, but I have the knowledge of being involved in the sport from a 10-year-old when I was younger. My dad's owned 5 racehorses. He owned a decent one back in the day when I was a kid growing up. My 2 ponies when I was younger were kept at a point-to-point yard, so I've always been involved in, for my keep of my ponies, I used to ride out and muck out the pointers, and that's where it kind of all began for me. And I went to school with obviously some famous jockeys now, and we all grew up together and did everything together, did pony club. Yeah. So I do know a little bit about show jumping and bits and bobs, but horse racing is kind of my subject area in terms of the equestrian world.
And National Racehorse Week, like we were talking about, is all about showing the welfare behind these horses. Yeah. And I'm not joking, we're here today at Simon Dow's yard, but they get to swim, they get spa treatments, they are shining. And what he's been really interesting about today is he's a real horseman, isn't he? A lot of these trainers are, and he's talking about how he's got them stabled really close together, which most yards, even like non-racing yards, they're miles away from each other. Whereas here, he's all about working off their natural instincts and how they would be in the wild, which is so interesting being with him today. Yeah,
very interesting. Obviously, trainers all train horses differently, but they, with racehorse trainers, they all absolutely, they have the utmost care for their animals and they know what's right for their animals. You'll see some trainers will want to move their stables 100 yards because of the airflow, what goes through the yard, because that helps their horses. I mean, you need kind of good oxygen sweeping through. So there's so many minor things which go into actually making the performance of a racehorse better, making them healthier. And yeah, Simon's up here today. He's given us a good run through, and it's always interesting because I haven't been down here before, but to come to different yards and see the way they're trained. And even when we went out on the gallops there, I asked him, how often does he work his horses? Obviously they gallop every day or they canter every day, but when you work them, it's a bit more vigorous, and he likes to work them just as in when, kind of off instinct, when they feel they need it, so once or twice a week. And it's just interesting. They got a little sandpit as well back there. He was which is great, seeing the horses just roll around in there after they've done some work. Because when a horse sweats, gets excited, after they've done a little bit of exercise in the morning, they want to kind of roll in the mud or roll in the sand, and that sandpit's great because it gives them a chance to scratch, ruffle themselves up, and they're happy as Larry. And they have a bite of grass, and it's good.
And a lot of people watching this, horse and country fans, a lot of dressage riders out there, a lot of eventers watching this. Hi guys. But they might know you more from Love Island than they would racing. Why should people tune into the racing and also get involved in National Racehorse Week? What is it about racing that you love?
I just think the sport's so captivating. The animals, I mean, like you just said, your viewers will know the animals in a different kind of equine sport, but the horses are just great. And I think we all know how much we love our animals, but horse racing is different. I mean, I could learn a lot from you, and you could learn a lot from me. I don't know much about I'm coming down to Blenheim, but I don't know much about in terms of like eventing in dressage and show jump. I did show jump when I was in pony club, but I don't know the full ins and outs of it. I've never been up close and personal with it, and there'll be people who follow you guys obviously predominantly who may not have been horse racing. So I think it's just a great sport. The animals are great. They're absolute machines. They literally power this sport that we love, like horse racing. They're the engine behind it all, and that's why we show them so much love, so much care and attention. And without them, there would be no sport. So long live the racehorse.
So National Racehorse Week, going to put you on the spot. What date is it? How do people get involved? And what's it about?
Yeah, National Racehorse Week is the 12th to the 19th of September. To get involved, simply head on to nationalracehorseweek.uk, head onto the website, enter your postcode into the little tab on the website, and it will tell you the local yards to your postcode, which are obviously feasible during that week, to go down and visit, and then booking your appointment. Very, very simple. As if you were going to the doctors, you book in your appointment, wallop, get your confirmation, and then come down and enjoy and see what goes on. Racehorse yards are very exciting. They're all different. Everyone operates slightly differently. Trainers have their own ways of training horses, but the love you see that week will be second to none.